Welcome to Discover Vietnam, where we explore the strange, the unique, and even the spine-chilling aspects of Vietnamese culture. Animal-infused liquor, just hearing the name is enough to send shivers down your spine. For locals, it might be seen as traditional medicine or an age-old custom passed down through generations. But for international visitors, this is often one of the most terrifying culinary experiences in Vietnam. Let's take a look at the top 5 types of liquor that have sent many tourists running for the hills. Number 1, snake wine, miracle elixir or tourist nightmare. When it comes to traditional Vietnamese liquors that leave foreign tourists both fascinated and terrified, snake wine easily tops the list. Considered a miracle tonic in many rural areas, this type of liquor is also one of the most shocking images for outsiders encountering Vietnamese culture for the first time. Why snake? According to traditional Eastern medicine, snakes are believed to possess powerful medicinal properties. Especially species like cobra or banded krait are said to help strengthen the bones and joints, boost male virility, and treat back pain and fatigue. In many rural or mountainous regions of Vietnam, locals catch snakes, clean them, and soak the whole body in rice wine, sometimes with medicinal herbs like din lang, Polycius fruticosa, sam khao, Curculigo orchioides, or bay clish, Morinda officinalis. A spine-chilling experience for tourists to locals, seeing a coiled snake inside a jar of liquor is nothing unusual. But for international visitors, especially from Western countries, it can be a real culture shock. Many have shared how they froze in fear or couldn't even get close to the jar for fear that the snake might come back to life. Some restaurants in the highlands even serve fresh snake wine, where the snake is killed on the spot, and its blood and gall are mixed into liquor to drink immediately. For many, it feels like an ancient and eerie ritual. Does it really work wonders? Although widely believed to improve health and vitality, there is no clear scientific evidence to confirm the true effectiveness of snake wine. On the contrary, improper preparation, especially with venomous snakes, can lead to dangerous toxins in the wine. Additionally, overuse of infused liquors can harm the liver and overall health. Between tradition and terror, snake wine is part of Vietnam's fascinating world of animal-based infusions, a blend of folk beliefs, traditional medicine, and ancient culinary habits. But at the same time, it's also a highly controversial topic, especially today, as global awareness of animal rights and wildlife conservation grows. Would you dare to try a glass of snake wine when visiting Vietnam? Or would you run away the moment you see its cold, glassy eyes staring at you from inside the jar? Number 2, gecko wine, living medicine in a traditional bottle. When it comes to Vietnam's strange and fascinating infused liquors, gecko wine often appears alongside names like snake wine or wild bird wine. It may not be as visually shocking as snake wine, but gecko wine carries a different kind of quiet, eerie unease, with 2 small, dried creatures lying still in the bottle as if asleep, yet watching. A small creature with surprising value, geckos, typically tokay geckos, have long been regarded as precious ingredients in traditional Eastern medicine. In Vietnamese folk remedies, geckos are considered warm in nature, said to boost kidney function, improve male vitality, and treat asthma, fatigue, and back pain. People in rural areas often catch wild geckos, clean and dry them, and then soak the whole body in rice wine for months or even years. A typical bottle contains 2 dried geckos, symbolizing the harmony of yin and yang, small but creepy enough to give tourists goosebumps. Compared to snakes or larger animals, geckos are quite small and seemingly harmless, but their stillness, shriveled skin, pale, glassy eyes, and frozen bodies inside the jar often make people feel uneasy and creeped out. One tourist shared, "When I looked into the jar, it felt like the 2 geckos were staring straight at me." That chill? Very real. Traditional cure or just word of mouth? Often praised as a powerful tonic for men, gecko wine is believed to enhance strength and improve health. However, there is no concrete scientific evidence to confirm these effects. Still, in many Vietnamese households, gecko wine is seen as a valuable remedy, usually brought out for honored guests or as a health booster after illness. Between folk tradition and a creepy cultural experience, gecko wine offers a curious glimpse into Vietnam's folk medicine and traditional culinary world. where generational belief and experience can turn a small reptile into a treasure. But for many modern folks, especially international travelers, it remains a strange and slightly frightening experience. Would you dare to try a shot of gecko wine and taste this so-called living medicine? Or would you politely decline the moment you spot the tiny figures resting silently in the bottle? Number 3. Scorpion wine, a drink not for the faint of heart. In the world of Vietnamese animal-infused liquors, scorpion wine might just be one of the most visually shocking. While snake wine makes people shiver and gecko wine gives them chills, scorpion wine delivers a strong visual punch. A pitch-black scorpion, stiff and lifeless, floating in the jar with its claws raised, as if still in combat mode, enough to make many tourists turn and run. Why scorpions? According to traditional Eastern medicine, black forest scorpions are considered highly medicinal. With their warm, spicy nature, scorpions are believed to calm the nerves, reduce pain, expel wind and dampness, and are commonly used to treat joint pain, paralysis, tremors, and even epilepsy. In some rural and mountainous regions, locals catch wild scorpions, clean them thoroughly, and soak the entire body in white rice wine. Sometimes they're infused alone, other times they're paired with snakes or geckos, creating shockingly intense jars of mixed animal wine. Not everyone dares to try it. Many foreign visitors, upon encountering a jar of scorpion wine, have exclaimed, "I'd rather drink beer," because the thought of sipping liquor infused with a once deadly creature is anything but comforting. Some say the scariest part isn't the taste or the smell, but rather the cold, empty stare of the scorpion from within the jar, almost as if it's still alive. Health tonic or exaggeration. Like other animal-infused wines, scorpion wine is widely believed to strengthen the bones, boost male vitality, and relieve pain. However, modern science has yet to provide solid evidence of these effects. Improper preparation can be dangerous, especially if the venom isn't neutralized. And like all high-proof liquors, excessive consumption can harm the liver and overall health. Medicinal wine, cultural heritage, or creepy tradition. Scorpion wine is part of Vietnam's long-standing medicinal liquor culture, where nature, folk wisdom, and ancestral knowledge blend into jars of potent, mysterious brews. For locals, it may symbolize power and healing, but for visitors, it often represents a bold and intimidating cultural challenge. Would you dare to try a shot of scorpion wine to test nature's power? Or would you choose to walk away when you see those deadly claws floating in the jar? Number 4. Baby mice wine, a drink many can't even look at, let alone taste. If you thought snake wine, scorpion wine, or gecko wine were the peak of Vietnam's bizarre infused liquors, then baby mice wine might completely redefine your limits. Rare and controversial, this type of wine quietly exists in some rural regions, where it's believed to be a powerful traditional remedy, especially for men or the sick. Infusing liquor with newborn mice? It may sound unbelievable, but it's real. The main ingredient is newborn baby mice, still pink, hairless, and with closed eyes. These mice are either removed from the womb of a just slaughtered mother mouse or taken from a nest right after birth, then immersed alive in high-proof rice wine, sometimes along with medicinal herbs. The wine is left to infuse for several months to a year. Inside the jar, dozens of tiny mice float in a pale yellow liquid, creating a visual that is both haunting and unforgettable. A visual and psychological shock. Even for many Vietnamese, baby mice wine is difficult to accept, let alone consume. The image of a jar full of tiny, red, undeveloped mouse bodies can trigger nausea, fear, or instant revulsion. For foreign visitors, this goes beyond strange or exotic. Many view it as crossing cultural and ethical boundaries. Some call it extreme, gruesome, even inhumane. Folk beliefs, tradition, or misconception? In certain communities, this wine is believed to fight fatigue, boost male virility, aid recovery after illness, and strengthen the kidneys. However, modern science has not confirmed any of these claims. On the contrary, consuming raw, animal-infused liquors may expose drinkers to bacteria, viruses, or parasites, posing real health risks if not prepared and preserved properly. When belief confronts ethical boundaries, Baby mice wine is a prime example of the collision between folk beliefs, traditional remedies, and modern ethics. For some, it's a rare tonic, but for most, especially international visitors, it's one of the most disturbing culinary experiences in Vietnam. Would you dare to even look at a glass of baby mice wine, let alone drink it? Or would you immediately say, no thank you, the moment you spot what's floating inside? Number 5. Centipede wine, Vietnam's most venomous liquor. In Vietnam's world of animal-infused liquors, some are curious, some are terrifying, and some will make you instinctively step back. Centipede wine belongs to that last category, a traditional folk remedy that locals believe is powerful, while many foreign visitors find deeply disturbing. Why infuse alcohol with centipedes? Centipedes, those many-legged venomous creatures often shoot away in fear, are the main ingredient in this unique liquor. According to traditional Eastern medicine, centipedes are warm in nature, spicy in taste, and mildly toxic, believed to help dispel wind, reduce pain, relieve spasms, and stimulate circulation. Locals catch large wild centipedes from forests or rocky hillsides, clean them, and immerse them, alive or freshly killed, into strong white rice wine. In some areas, dozens of centipedes are soaked in 5–10 liters of alcohol, turning the liquid a deep yellow with a sharp, penetrating aroma. Not for the faint of heart. The sight of long, coiled centipedes lying motionless in the jar is enough to make anyone shiver. With their spindly legs, curved bodies, and sometimes floating eerily on the surface, these creatures create an image that's haunting, long before the wine touches your lips. Medicine or myth? Many people believe centipede wine can relieve joint pain, treat numbness, help with seizures or epilepsy, and even boost male vitality. However, no modern scientific studies have confirmed these effects. Moreover, infusing alcohol with live centipedes carries real risks. The venom may remain active if not neutralized properly. And like all animal-based medicinal liquors, overconsumption can harm the liver and digestive system. A cultural lens, bravery or danger. Centipede wine is part of Vietnam's broader folk medicinal wine tradition, a world where nature, spiritual beliefs, and ancestral wisdom come together. To locals, it's a rare tonic. To tourists, it's often a test of nerves, strange, unsettling, and hard to forget. Would you dare take a sip of centipede wine, where venom, courage, and tradition swirl in one glass? Or would you look away from the silent legs drifting inside the jar? Thank you for watching until the end. Thank you for joining Discover Vietnam on this journey to explore the strange, the unique, and sometimes the spine-tingling aspects of Vietnamese culture. We hope today's video gave you a fresh perspective, unforgettable stories, and maybe even inspired a little courage to try something new. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to keep exploring Vietnam with us, through its food, traditions, and the incredible people who make it all come alive. See you in the next episode of Discover Vietnam.